Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. Thank you guys for tuning in today. If you are new, welcome. Today we are going to do what is called my weekly roundup. If you missed the first weekly roundup, be sure to go ahead and check that video out. I go into further explanation as to how I test out my products and how I incorporate new products into my routine. So definitely go check that video out to kind of get more details. I don't want to have a super long introduction this time, so if you're curious about that, then go ahead and check that video out. Today we are just going to go over some products that I recently incorporated. So these are all going to be products that I have not talked about before on my channel. If you are curious to the other products that I talked about, such as foundation and some of the products that I do have on my face currently, but I'm not going to go over in this video, then be sure to check out last week's video. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so we have a little basket of all new goodies that I have been testing out this week. Some of these are newer products. So obviously I went over in my last video that I incorporate a new blush, a new bronzer, new powder products pretty much every single week. So we do have those in here. We also do have some other additional products in here, basically because I finished up other products, but I'll go into more detail about that once we get to those items. I'm going to try to go in the order that I apply these products onto my face, just to kind of make it a little bit cohesively go together. So we're just going to go into it right now, starting out with primer. So the primer that I have been testing out this week for the first time is the Becca First Light Priming Filter Instant Complexion Refresh. And this is a product that I got in one of those like Sephora favorites or like Ulta must-have, like one of those like boxes where they give you a bunch of like sample size items that you can test out, and it's usually like centered around a theme like summer or whatever. So I got this in one of those, and this is a deluxe sized sample of the item. It's actually pretty big though. It's a pretty big sample size. You get 15 milliliters of product in here. This you can get at Sephora, you can get it at Ulta. I actually really enjoy this primer. I wasn't sure what to expect, but it's actually a purple primer. So it comes out of the package purple. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that, but it comes out of the package purple and it smells amazing. I know that's not the most important thing, obviously, but it smells absolutely amazing. And the thing I like about this primer is it's very lightweight on the skin, but it does what it says. It's just like a very refreshing feeling on the skin, and it's just like a great way to start out your makeup. So I really enjoy it for that. It also has helped my makeup stay on longer. I feel like my makeup looks really good throughout the day. It just feels really good. It's just like the perfect way to start out your makeup. And I'm sorry if I was blurry there for a second. I don't know what happened, but I really do enjoy this. I think Becca, this retails for around $20 to $30, but I will go into more detail about these products when I actually do my empties video going over these, but I just kind of want to do like my first impressions here. Next we're going to go on to, so I already talked about my foundation in my last video. I'm still using the ABH stick foundation. I have a love-hate relationship with it, but I kind of talked about that in my last video. It definitely works better with this primer though, I will admit that. But moving on, we will go on to foundation or concealer. So this is the concealer, and this is not my first time using it. I have been using this a couple times previously, but this is the Laura Geller Real Deal Concealer. I picked this one up from Marshall's. It was on sale for like under $5. It was very good price for the product. I wanted to try it out because there was a lot of Laura Geller products at Marshall's, and I'd never really tried out Laura Geller products before, so I thought it would be interesting to kind of test out the brand and see if I liked the products, so I picked it up. This is not my favorite concealer for a multitude of reasons. The first reason would be the packaging. I know that's not really the end of the world. However, I'm just not a fan of any kind of concealer that has like a squeezing out packaging. I don't like it. I prefer a dull foot applicator. That's just my personal opinion. I think it's easier. I mentioned in my Amazon haul that I bought my own dull foot applicators simply to use with this kind of product that doesn't have one. So that kind of makes it a little bit better, but still just not my favorite packaging. And then on top of that, this concealer is just a little bit too thick, a little bit too creamy for my liking. I don't really like to feel like I have concealer under my eyes, and with this product I feel I know it's there. And also it does crease. I don't know if you guys can see, but there is some creasing. I've only worn this concealer, I've only been wearing this product for about 3 hours now, and it's like already creasing. Yep. It's very creamy, very like oily, very like thick. So it's just, I don't know, I just feel like it looks very heavy under my eyes. It's not very like light and refreshed. It creases very quickly. It's not my favorite product. And the reason that I keep using it is because I am not one to waste products. The only reason I will ever waste a product is if it literally does damage to my skin. If it breaks me out, if I have like a reaction to it, that would be the only reason that I would stop using a product. So I'm going to try and use this up and bear with it for the next couple uses that I have. You get a lot of product in here. If you're one that likes a more heavier concealer, a more thicker concealer, then you might like this. I mean, it does give good coverage. It's just a little bit too thick for my liking, especially putting it under the eyes. So that is my personal opinion on that. Next, we're going to go into setting powder. So I'm currently using a setting powder from a face palette. This is the It Cosmetics You Sculpted, and this is a contouring palette, and it says it's for the face and the body, so I guess you could contour like your chest area. But anyways, I've been using the matte highlighter from this palette here. So you can see here they have like a shimmery highlighter, and then they also have a matte highlighter here. So I've been using this matte highlighter right here. It actually works pretty good for underneath the eyes. It's a very lightweight formula, which I really like. It's a lightweight formula. It blends out really quick. It does actually make this concealer somewhat more bearable than it would be on its own. So I do really enjoy that. I would be interested to try out this palette with another concealer. I feel like it would look really pretty, but I do like the powder. I feel like it does a good job of mattifying the concealer the best it can. I just feel like this concealer is so creamy that no matter what powder you use, it's going to kind of shine through a little bit. So I think that's just the concealer, not the powder, but I do really like it. I love It Cosmetics in general, so I feel like this is a really good palette, and I love that it comes with like instructions on the back for you to do your face. So I am excited to try out the other complexion products that we have in here to see how they work as well. Alright, moving on, we're going to talk about some eye products. So typically I'll do, after I set my under eyes, I will do like my eye products. So I already talked about my brow product in my last video, so I'm not going to go into detail about that, but I am going to talk about some eyeshadow products. So I have this primer that I've been using. This is from Revolution. This is their eye primer, and I don't think it has like a color or anything. I think it's just like an eye primer, but I do really like this. I've never really been big into primers. I usually just use like concealer as primers, but with this concealer I don't like using it as a primer because it's just already so thick that it doesn't feel good on my eyelid. So I've been using this primer. I actually got this as a gift with purchase from Ulta. I think it was included. I think I bought like a Revolution palette and this came with it or something like that, but it's a pretty nice primer. So it looks almost like it would be like a concealer. See if it will. There we go. So it looks like it would actually be like a concealer, and when you put it on, it has kind of like a concealer color to it, but I really like it because it doesn't necessarily have like a true concealer feeling to it. It's more of a lightweight product that just kind of creates like an even base for your eyeshadow to go on. I feel like if you do, or if you are wanting to conceal anything, like if you have like any kind of darkness or if you have like vein eyelids, I feel like this wouldn't do the best job at concealing anything. However, it does create a great base for your eyeshadow. So that's something to think about. And also Revolution is a very affordable brand, so this is one of the more affordable eyeshadow primers that you can get. Now, the next product I wasn't going to talk about because I haven't really used that much from the palette, but I still wanted to bring it up. So this is the palette that I've been using, or that I'm going to be using this week. This is from Model's Own. This is the Supernatural palette. I picked this up from TJ Maxx. It was like ridiculous. It was under $5 or something like that. But they no longer make products, I don't think. I don't know, the brand's kind of like disappeared. I don't really know where they went. I think they stopped making products, I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm like 95% sure that they stopped making products. But this is a really beautiful palette. I talked about the other Model's Own palette that I was using in the last video. I think it was like the Vintage Rose palette, and how I really loved the shimmers in that palette, and the same thing stands with this palette. So I've only used one color in this palette so far, so I cannot really give it a full review. I've used the color Paranormal, so I've used this color right here, which is a really pretty kind of like burnt orange burgundy shimmer color. Very beautiful here. I really love the formula. Same thing stands. I mean, it's the same formula as the other palette. The shimmers are just absolutely beautiful. I'm wearing it on my eye today, so see if we can kind of focus a little bit. So I'm wearing it on my eye today. It's just a really pretty kind of burgundy orange shimmer to it, and then I used just like a bronzer in my crease. But I really love this shimmer formula. I think it's really, really nice. I don't know about the other colors in this palette. I haven't used them. I've only used this one, but so far I really, really like this one, and it has the same formula as the last palette, so I'm assuming it's just going to be the same, just different colors. So I'm excited. This is more of a kind of like, I don't know how you would describe this, but kind of more of like a greeny, kind of toned palette. It has like a very interesting color scheme, so I'm super excited about this palette, and I wanted to share it just in case you guys ever came across it at TJ Maxx and Marshalls. I would definitely recommend picking it up just for the shimmers alone. But anyways, alright, moving on, we're going to go into bronzer, and this is actually a product that I talked about in my last weekly roundup video. However, I was using a different shade. So this is the Studio Contour palette from Profusion, and I talked about this in my last video, and last week I used this color here, which is like a more cool toned bronzing shade, and I told you guys that I actually preferred this color over like this color because I like cooler toned products better than I like the warmer toned. However, my opinion changed. So I started using this cooler tone, and like the first 1 or 2 times that I used it, it worked fine. Like it worked perfectly fine. And then all of a sudden, like throughout the week, when I started using this color more, it turned into more of like a grayish, kind of like muddy look on my face, and it just was not, it looked like I had dirt, like a pile of dirt on my cheek, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if I applied it differently or what happened, but for some reason it just showed up like it was like dirt on my face. So I did not like that. I was not a fan of that. And it was also just really hard to blend out. Like I could not get rid of that like big blotch of dirt on my cheek. So moving into this week, I was kind of nervous to use this middle shade because I was like, oh boy, like if this shade didn't work for me, then like this shade is just going to be super orange. And it is a very warm toned bronzer. However, it's not super orange to the point where it looks like horrendous. I feel like it does actually give kind of like a natural, like naturally kind of like sunburnt almost feel to it, but it doesn't look fake in my opinion. So I actually prefer the warm toned shade over this cool tone shade, which is surprising, but I just feel like it works really well so far. I've had like good experiences with it. That's what it looks like. The good thing is it kind of is a little bit faded, so it's easier to blend out. I did go in with a light hand just because I was very nervous, so I did go in with a light hand, so it's definitely buildable. And I like that with this palette because then you can kind of get, you know, if you have different skin tones, it's kind of, you can use it, like different skin tones can use this palette. You just kind of have to go in with a lighter or a heavier hand depending on what your skin tone is. But yeah, this middle shade, it kind of redeemed it a little bit for this shade. I definitely wouldn't head over heels recommend this palette, just because, like I said, I think I mentioned in the last video, you're kind of getting what you paid for, unfortunately. But not bad. The middle shade's not bad, for sure. Alright, so blush. Moving on to blush. So I am currently using this palette from Alamar Cosmetics. This is the Colorette Blush Trio. This is in Fair to Light. This I got in BoxyCharm. And I am currently using the color Castaway, which is right here. This is actually really pretty kind of like orangey coral blush. But it's actually really pretty. So I do really like this blush. I feel like it is somewhat of a shimmer blush to it, which I kind of talked about in my last video, like my opinion on a shimmer blush. But I do actually really like this blush. I think it's very beautiful. It has like a very pretty coral tone. I'm definitely more into like pink mauve tones. I feel like those look best on me. But I think it works pretty good. I think it looks pretty good. And it just kind of creates like a natural glow on the face. So I actually kind of do enjoy this blush. And I do like the formula. So I am definitely excited to try out the other two shades in here, especially the Paraiso, I think that's how you say it. This middle shade I feel like is going to be very pretty. So I am excited. I do like this one. Alright, moving on to highlighters. So the highlighter that I've been using is this from Lorac. This is the Starlight highlighter. I don't think, it doesn't have like a name. I think it's just the shade. The shade is Starlight. I picked this up at Marshall's and TJ Maxx, of course. This is a very pretty highlight. This is one of those highlighters that kind of like comes out of nowhere. And like what I mean by that is from the packaging, it doesn't look like it would be anything like special, you know, like it doesn't feel like it would be super shimmery or anything. Like it's just kind of like a standard highlighter. It looks kind of powdery, like it doesn't look like it would be anything. But then when you put it on your face, I don't know what happens, but it just turns into this like blinding highlight that is so beautiful. And I love it because it's very buttery, like it's very easy to blend it, but it's just such a pretty like natural glow to the skin that I really love. I think it works really well for anyone who has fair skin. It doesn't leave that kind of like holographic iridescent kind of glow. It kind of just leaves like a natural pretty glow. So I really do like this highlighter, and I would definitely recommend picking this one up. It's kind of, I wasn't expecting it to be as like pretty and as shimmery as it actually is. So I have really been enjoying this highlighter. Alright, next we have 2 more products. So we have our something with our eyes and something with our lips. So for eyes, I have been using this mascara, testing out this mascara this week. This is the Wander Beauty Mile High Club Volume and Length Mascara, and I forget, I think I might have gotten this in Allure, possibly, a while ago. I don't know, but Wander Beauty is one of those brands that I've recently, like, I discovered through subscription boxes, and I really fell in love with the brand. They have a lot of great products. They're kind of one of those brands that's like somewhat known, but like not really at the same time. But I really do enjoy their products. This mascara is actually very nice, especially at lengthening the lashes. Like, look how long my lashes look. They look super long. Now, of course, I'm still using that same primer that I was using last week in my other weekly roundup, but I just feel like this mascara, it adds so much length to my lashes that the other mascara kind of lacked. So I really do enjoy it. I don't know, I just love the way that it makes my lashes look. I think it's really pretty. So I definitely really like this mascara. It's worked really well for me. And then this is the wand for reference. So it kind of has like a skinnier wand, which I kind of like. I feel like it grabs every lash, which is nice. So, alright, moving on to the last product, which is lips. This is what I have on my lips today. This is by the Nude Stick brand. This is the Lip and Cheek Pencil, and it's in the color Mystic. So I don't even remember where I got this from, to be honest. But I love Nude Stick. I actually discovered Nude Stick through Ipsy. They sent me one of their like sample, I think like foundation or complexion sticks. But then I started getting some of the lipsticks, and I love Nude Stick because their whole kind of like message behind their products is like very simplistic makeup. So this stick you can use for your lips, you can use for your cheeks. It's just something that you can kind of just like blend in very effortlessly, to just kind of put on and go. Like, you don't really need to do like a full glam. It's just like a quick thing. And I love Hilary Duff. She loves Nude Stick. I think she has like her own collaboration with Nude Stick or something, but on her Instagram she's always like filming like simple, very simple makeup tutorials using Nude Stick products, and I just think that it's just so simple. Like, everyone can do it. There's like sticks for like multi-use, so like she uses like their highlighter stick for like her highlight, but then she also just pops that on the eyes real quick. It's just like very simple makeup, and so I really love that. This stick, I think it's a little bit too dark for me to use it as a cheek product. I think it just would be, yeah, I think it would just be a little bit too dark for a cheek product. But for the lips, it's a really pretty kind of like darker mauve-y color, and it just looks beautiful. And the thing I like about this is it's a very hydrating, very nourishing lip product. So you put it on your lips and it feels good. Like, it feels good for the lips. So I really like it. And you can kind of see, like, it looks very hydrating on the lips too. Like, it's not matte, it's not drying or anything. So I really like it. Really like it. So that is everything that I have been testing out lately. I will leave links for everything below, as well as any kind of prices or anything if you guys are interested in checking them out or looking into them yourself. But I hope everyone enjoys this video. If you guys have any questions or anything, then please let me know below, and make sure to hit that subscribe button before you leave, and thank you guys for tuning in.